Other point that I try to make in the book, which is essentially the thesis of the book is that America's in decline by any measure, economically, national security, spiritually. I lay out the case, and decline's an option. I mean, decline isn't preordained, but neither is renewal. It depends on what we do.
Standing before you today, I am the only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III, because I really believe you're going to have World War III. Because I believe you're going to have it.
How much damage did the DPEG cause to USD's reputation? And, you know, is it long-lasting damage?
Well, I mean, look, I think what's really notable about what we've seen over the past several days is that, you know, the narrative had been, how do we protect the banking system from crypto? And I think what's taken place here is a demonstration of how do we protect a stablecoin from the banking system itself. And we have long advocated for a full reserve model for digital dollars on the internet, and we've emphasized the risks of the fractional reserve banking system as something that backs that. And so we'll come back to, I know, the regulatory questions, but the important thing here is the result of this has been that, you know, we have been able to actually move the entirety of the reserves, which had already been essentially held in, Circle Reserve Fund with BlackRock, all short-term T-bills. That's about 80% of it, and the remainder with Bank of New York Mellon, to have, the safest underlying dollar digital currency that's out there. And so we're actually coming out of this with an infrastructure, a dollar market infrastructure that's the safest in the world for transacting in the space.
And you flagged, talking of the reserves, you flagged that you had about $3.3 billion US dollars worth of reserves at Silicon Valley Bank. Have you been able to access those? Have you been able to remove those? What's the update on those reserves?
That's exactly right. So, we were able to access those yesterday, and I believe, if not everything, very close to everything was able to clear, and so we'll publish a kind of full update on that today. But that's exactly right. So, we're in a place now where we have, I believe, the safest digital dollar on the internet, and that's really critical.
Have you done enough due diligence on a cross-reverse approach?
We have said that we're working with a payments bank, and that's really for handling settlements and transactions, not a reserve bank. And so, sort of money in transit coming in and out of the system, settlement banks are really critical. We'll have more announcements around those kinds of things soon, too.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we get the truth on CNBC for once. America is in decline economically, national security, spiritually, but we do have a choice. And that's why I tell you guys to get in the lab. And guys, we have Jeremy from Usdc, and we know he's Goldman Sachs back, BlackRock back, Coinbase back, talks about the full reserve model, getting off the fractional reserve lending. But guys, we know that's how the NWO bought up the world. And we know before, if you talked about getting rid of that system, you got in trouble. But guys, we know this is all about the fourth industrial revolution. They're ready to tear down this system. Bretton Woods 2.0 is right around the corner. And guys, we know technology can be used for good or evil. But we know the NWO took over Bitcoin a long time ago. The same way they took over gold and silver a long time ago. Guys, if you're printing money off the printing press, you can buy up everything. And they've already done that. So that means they can control the supply and demand of any commodity. And guys, we've seen that throughout history. The only thing they do is play the Hegelian dialectic when they talk about gold versus Bitcoin. And we know how important Bitcoin and cryptos are. Why? Because the robots, algorithms, and drones are about to take over the economy. And the only thing they were missing was money. And now they have money, so therefore they're going to put the masses out of work. And we saw that with Facebook laying off 10,000 more people. Guys, we know the NWO are the master magicians. They set up the banking crisis, And where is all the money flowing to now? That's right, to the big banks. They took one bird and knocked out about 20 stones. And remember, the crypto teacher told you.
So people just need to remember that when they give their money to the bank is making bets with your savings. It's not sitting there. It's not backed one-to-one. You're essentially trusting the bank to manage counterparty risk. And what you have in return is an IOU on the screen. And the difference with Bitcoin is you have a bearer instrument with no issuer that you can self-custody with no counterparty risk, and you don't have to trust anybody but yourself. I just hope that lawmakers soon realize that Bitcoin is accretive. It's not destructive. It will make the world more stable, not less. It adds to the human experience, and it's a store of value competing with all the other assets for stores of value. And it does not destroy the dollar. Frankly, the dollar is dying by 1,000 cuts at the hands of bureaucrats who are taking us further and further into debt. And Bitcoin is a way to strengthen the whole system by presenting an alternative, a form of hard money tied to energy, decoupled from politics.
Yeah, but how will lawmakers curry favor? How will lawmakers print money for the next welfare program that curries favor, or the next special interest that curries favor? If they lose control of fiat currency, if there's not a fiat central bank digital currency, if fiat currency is not in the driver's seat, don't they lose all of their power? Isn't that what they're really afraid of? I don't think they care about the economic message you just talked about.
I think that people sometimes forget that we hold the power. We're the ones electing them, and we get the government that we demand. And so they might be proposing ideas like a different kind of blockchain, a CBDC, a programmable political form of money controlled by the state. But that's not the answer. The answer is a decentralized alternative with a capped finite supply that no one can manipulate and that no one can control. And Bitcoin offers that alternative.
Well, certainly Bitcoin has shined in a moment of truth for sure. Natalie, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now, earlier today, 2 Russian military aircraft conducted an unsafe intercept with an unmanned U.S. surveillance drone that was operating within international airspace over the Black Sea. This intercept was so dangerous and so brazen that the U.S. Air Force was forced to crash their drone into international waters. It is another reckless act by President Putin and his military. And I want to tell Mr. Putin, stop this behavior before you are the cause of an unintended escalation. We have seen this behavior from the Russian military before, and it will not deter the United States from conducting operations over the Black Sea. These aggressive actions by Russian aircraft are risky and could lead, I repeat, to unintended escalation. The U.S. has routinely flown over the Black Sea since before Putin's illegal and reckless invasion of Ukraine, and I'm confident our military will continue to do so. Now, over the weekend, as we all know, the U.S. banking system faced a significant threat after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. If the damage had spread across our financial system, the deposits and savings of tens of millions of families and small businesses could have been at serious risk. Today, as we speak, thankfully, our banking system is stable, thanks to the work of the Biden administration, the Federal Reserve, and the FDIC on Sunday. I thank the President, the Federal Reserve, and the FDIC for taking swift action to preserve confidence in the banking system. And the American people can rest assured that bank regulators have acted quickly and are doing everything they can to protect consumers. In the days and weeks to come, Congress will look closely at what caused the run on Silicon Valley Bank and how we can prevent similar events in the future.
Now, guys, we have Trump talks about the drums are beating. He's the only one can stop it. And we know, again, that's the Hegelian dialectic, because we know this time is not going to be physical. It's going to be all about the cyber war, and we are already seeing it. We have Chuck Schumer speaking about Russian drones, and we know Ukraine and Russia have been building towards the digital transformation. Guys, we know all these distractions are set up for the machine takeover. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Right, and all those those profits that people are going to make from Nvidia stock when the Earth is a barren husk inhabited by android armies?
I don't know.
How's that going to feel?
David, what does that have to do with the price to relation to deposits of first?
I want to hear from him about AI in terms of.
But I'm saying
they don't seem to know what they're creating.
Oh, David,
the natural language models, they don't know how quickly.
Billionaires opine.
They don't
You
know
don't
how
get
quickly,
to opine.
They don't know how quickly it's going to
be a
improve.
billionaire. Right. Okay, I agree.
That.
But I do think that it's important.
Concerned.
Well, I'm looking at the gross margins and I'm looking at the numbers. If you want to go look into the human soul and the ethos.
Oh, I want to talk about the fact that we're going to soon be slaves to AI.
Yeah, you short Nvidia. I'll tell you what. Why don't you send me an invitation to your funeral?
Just
Jim Fisk.
Just saying. This could be it. This could be the end of the human species.
Well, we were not that great. I mean, that's where we're going here. Because we have too many companies in every single aspect. There are 500 enterprise software companies that are trying to come public. And, you know, I don't even know how they're going to get financed after the First National Bank of Reckless Lending is gone.
I mean, what has Benioff said lately about M&A, right? He's going to rein it in? So you're looking for a spike in bankruptcies? Or?
Well, I just think that there's going to be a spike in takeovers. And that there's going to be, I don't want to mention back at certain companies, but they're not necessary. We let everything come public for a period. This is the end. You know, we're talking about rolling back to 2019. The big excess in this economy, other than crypto, is in Silicon Valley. And that's what's being rolled back. We're not rolling back what's happening in Cleveland and Cincinnati, you know, Firestone. I use that as because people talk about that era of greatness where you had Goodyear and Firestone. Yeah. We're back to thinking that what matters is industrial America as being the template for what Mark Zuckerberg wrote to.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.